coming off their first Super Bowl victory as the Los Angeles Rams, and first since their days as the greatest show on turf in St. Louis in 1999 when American Underdog took place. As you see in the title, I'm here to discuss if the Rams will do it again. With Robert Woods heading to Tennessee, Andrew Whitworth retiring, whether or not Odell Beckham Jr. returns to the team, he won't be playing this upcoming season, and with Bobby Wagner coming in and Von Miller heading to Buffalo, will this team do what hasn't been done since the 2004 New England Patriots? Let's talk about it. So what's going on, guys? It's Nick here coming at you with some football talk. Now, before you talk to me about the hat, no, I'm not jumping on any bandwagons. I'm absolutely still a Giants fan to the bitter end. This is a hat I've had since 2016 when the Rams just moved back to LA, back when they were still a god-awful team coached by Jeff Fisher. I got this signed by some players on the team at the time and also Schoolboy Q. It's just my first time ever wearing this on YouTube, but now let's get back to what we're actually here to talk about. Now, first I want to debunk something before we get started. People talking about the Rams buying their Super Bowl after they traded Jared Goff for Matthew Stafford last year and brought in Von Miller and Odell Beckham Jr. mid-season, and how they brought in Bobby Wagner on a mega deal with Allen Robinson. Jalen Ramsey may not be homegrown, but either way, to say that the Rams bought their Super Bowl and are looking to buy another one, I got news for you guys. The best player on the team has been on the team since the Jeff Fisher regime. He's been there since their days in St. Louis. The reigning offensive player of the year and Super Bowl MVP was a third-round pick by the Rams in 2017. Van Jefferson, who started all 17 games last season and caught for 802 receiving yards, was a Rams second-round pick just 2 years ago. Tyler Higbee, the starting tight end until he injured his knee in the NFC Championship, was a fourth-round pick in 2016 during the Jeff Fisher regime, so get your facts straight, guys. Anyways, last season the Rams were 7th in points scored and 15th in points scored against. I want to talk about their defense first though, because a team that has Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd, and Jalen Ramsey, and then later in that season Von Miller, should be able to shut other teams down, right? Well, in the last 6 games, the Rams did not give up more than 27 points. Even though Von Miller is gone, Bobby Wagner just couldn't pass up this opportunity to play for the Rams, where he gets to play alongside future Hall of Famers in Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, and another great pass rusher in Leonard Floyd. The team was already 3rd in sacks last year and gave up the 6th fewest rushing yards. This team absolutely has a good enough defense, and the scoring numbers just won't tell you that. The fact that this team is the defending champions, and while the defense only had one big subtraction while making one big addition, can tell you that though. Offensively, what might be concerning at all is the fact that Andrew Whitworth retired and the Rams haven't found his replacement yet. They still have a good offensive line even without Andrew Whitworth though, but the fact that he was their best player on that offensive line since he's been with the team, there's definitely room for concern here. I think what's definitely important to keep in mind though for this offense as a whole is that with a massive upgraded quarterback in Matthew Stafford over Jared Goff, Cooper Kupp was able to go from being a good wide receiver to a historically great wide receiver, while Odell Beckham Jr., whose career was going on a downward spiral, was able to revive his career and be a key contributor to a Super Bowl winning team before he tore his ACL in the Super Bowl. Knowing that OBJ won't play this upcoming season, whether the Rams re-sign him or not, the Rams got Allen Robinson, who's coming off a down year in his final season with the Bears. What's also important to keep in mind with him though is the fact that he didn't get the most consistent quarterback play in Chicago, nor did he have a good head coach. So now with Matthew Stafford at quarterback and Sean McVay as the head coach, I think he can definitely have a resurgence. He is a really good route runner. His 6'2" frame isn't too bad, and he has really good hands, and he's just as comfortable playing in the inside as he is on the outside. He should be huge for the Rams, especially if Cooper Kupp gets used as a decoy at all, while expecting defenses to pay heavy attention to him. Let's also not sleep on Van Jefferson, who I mentioned earlier. The Rams passing game is still a very well-oiled machine, even without Odell Beckham Jr. or Robert Woods. It is not just all Cooper Kupp like some might suggest. Now, before I continue on with this video, if you are enjoying this video, please consider dropping a like to help with the algorithm, and if you're not already subscribed and have notifications turned on, if you could please consider doing that, that'd be much appreciated so you don't miss another video. Your support is much appreciated. Or if you're already subscribed, you already liked the video, I appreciate you a ton. So anyways, I also want to mention some changes to this coaching staff. While Sean McVay is still at the helm, their offensive coordinator Kevin O'Connell just took a head coaching job with the Minnesota Vikings. The new offensive coordinator is Liam Cohen, but I don't think there really will be any changes, as Liam Cohen was an assistant wide receivers coach and quarterbacks coach under Sean McVay for the Rams before. The Rams don't have any draft picks until the 3rd round, but I think with the makeup of the roster and having just won a Super Bowl, that most certainly isn't a huge concern. However, if they do hit on those late round draft picks, the rest of the league should definitely watch out. Although their new punter, Riley Dixon, I don't know why the Rams decided to go after him because he's terrible. So now in terms of who the Rams have to face, who might be in the way, well, it does look like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are running things back this upcoming season with Tom Brady not retiring after all. If Antonio Brown didn't storm off the field and was with the team for the playoffs, things definitely could have been different for the Buccaneers. They also got Julian Love, and if they get 2020 Julian Love, that's a huge steal for the Bucs. Ali Marpet may have retired, and that leaves a hole at left guard, and Alex Kappa went to the Bengals, who we'll talk about next. However, the Buccaneers did bring in Shaq Mason, who's very underrated, who's excellent in the run blocking game, and that's definitely a huge pickup for the Buccaneers. The team they just beat in the Super Bowl, the Cincinnati Bengals, who we knew all along did not have a good offensive line, they did beef up that offensive line by bringing in Lyle Collins from the Cowboys, Alex Kappa from the Bucs, and Ted Karras from the Patriots. Now you just have to hope that this time around the offensive line can stay healthy, and they very well could dethrone the LA Rams as Super Bowl champions. Eli Apple as a starting cornerback, and I don't know why they chose to bring him back, but now that he is back, Bengals fans better just hope that Lou Anarumo learned from his mistake to not assign Eli Apple on Cooper Kupp. But what the Bengals definitely should have done, and this is such a missed opportunity on my video on Eli Apple clowning him, I'm not going to miss out on this opportunity this time. What the Bengals should have done to Eli Apple? But he's back now, so you just have to hope that Lou Anarumo does learn from his mistake. But in regard to the offensive line, Alex Kappa will definitely bring some toughness to that offensive line, as he played through a broken arm and tried to play through a broken leg, which we almost never see in any sport in this day and age. Ted Karras will likely replace Quentin Spain at left guard or play center. It's nice to know that he has versatility. Quentin Spain, according to PFF, was the second best Bengals offensive lineman, but that's obviously not saying much. He's a free agent now. I'm not sure what the Bengals will do with him, but I would say the Bengals offensive line is definitely better. It's still not elite, but at least they made it better. It's not like they could have been any worse anyways, and the Bengals did address what they really needed to address. Now in the AFC West, the division that may be the toughest in NFL history, with the Denver Broncos, even though they didn't get Bobby Wagner or re-sign Von Miller, a lot of us saw them as just a quarterback away, and they got Russell Wilson. The Chargers bolstered their defense with Khalil Mack, and even the Raiders are making moves to get better, and the Chiefs are likely to take a step back without Tyreek Hill, but they still have Patrick Mahomes, so they should definitely be a threat. I still see the Rams as better than those teams, but the AFC West as a whole, I would say, is deeper than the NFC West as a whole. There's also the Buffalo Bills, who we know have a great team on both sides of the ball and absolutely could represent the AFC in the Super Bowl, especially with the addition of Von Miller. Rams-Bills is definitely a potential Super Bowl matchup. I'm still not so sure that the Bills will beat the Rams, but I do think there's a good chance that we do see this matchup. Even in the Rams' own division, outside of the Seahawks, as of now, I do look at the NFC West as the second toughest division in the NFL behind the AFC West. Unless Deebo Samuel does end up leaving San Francisco, but I think he unfollowed the whole team to make sure he does secure the bag. I don't think he'll be on another team though. There is also that report that Kyler Murray won't play for the Cardinals unless he gets a new contract, but I think whether he plays or not, the Rams are still better than the Cardinals, but if Kyler Murray doesn't suit up for the Cardinals, yeah, they're screwed. Or how about the New York Giants? Let's not sleep on them in case anyone is actually really that gullible. I'm not actually serious about that. So, the verdict. I think it's absolutely possible that the Rams will win the Super Bowl again, but do I think it's a sure thing? Most certainly not. This is a resilient bunch though. They did overcome adversity during their championship run. They overcame injuries, not just Robert Woods and OBJ, but also Cam Akers tearing his Achilles tendon before training camp and coming back in week 18 to even be able to contribute at all to the Rams Super Bowl victory. Tyler Higbee injuring his knee in the NFC Championship, keeping him out of the Super Bowl. The team had a 3-game losing streak last last season that I'm sure that no one will talk about anymore for years to come. I do think the Rams should be favored as of now, even with their offensive line taking a hit. But hey, maybe they could pull off something we're not expecting, and replacing Andrew Whitworth won't be much of a problem after all. So that's all I got for this video. If you did enjoy this video, if you could please consider dropping a like, that'd be much appreciated. And if you can please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you can get more sports content from me, not just football, but basketball and baseball too. I definitely have to get going with baseball content now that the season started, and NBA playoffs have began too, so be on the lookout for content about that too. Also, if you could please get down in the comment section and let me know, do you think the Rams will repeat, or do you think someone else will dethrone them? Love to hear your thoughts. I'll definitely be sure to reply to you, and we can have a conversation. If you would like to watch either video up above, I'm sure you'll enjoy whichever one you do click through if you haven't watched one or the other or both, and I definitely appreciate it. So thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate you, and I'll see you next time. Peace.